know who's going to be in the state championships. Tonight, we begin, tomorrow we begin the fun of the state basketball tournament. But, the fun thing that all of us are in right now is talking about the big games we had last week that set us up for this and talking about the big games that we're going to be seeing this next week.
I tell you, March Madness has arrived. It starts tomorrow night, and it starts with the girls' side. Get out there. I think there's a lot of games. We're doing 5 games. I know that for tomorrow night, and we're doing 6 on Saturday. So we're going to be doing 11 games in 2 days, and then we'll be doing 74 games.
Yeah, 11 games in 2 days is kind of nothing compared to what we're going to be doing next week, right? We'll be doing.
The only thing different is it's 11 different sites.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas the other ones are three sites. 1, 2, and 3.
But so first, Steve, let's talk about what this show is about looking at the games that we did. So let's take a peek at a couple of the games, the district championships that we did last week on Saturday. That's not it.
We're having technical difficulties.
Just got to line them up. Here it is. So Volcano Vista still unbeaten in the state of New Mexico, taking on Cleveland, who were hoping to get in. But when you start a game off like that, Steve, that's a rough situation. Getting a big jam like that.
Well, you get a ceiling, you get him going, okay, and then it's just one of those things that it gets everybody going. Look at the movement and the defense that we're seeing by Volcano. They just seem to be in the right place. They got a great shot right there, but
yeah. And Remy Albrecht is one of those guys for Cleveland. But, Volcano Vista, when you're facing them like that, they've got 3-4 guys that can hit some jammers. Of course, the state's leader in single-game threes, Ryan Gonzalez, getting involved right there. Looks like we're going to have a big play from Remy Albrecht right here for the 3. And, Remy, since he was an 8th grader, has been a big part of this Cleveland side. That's why we're taking a peek at him a couple of times, even off the knee, able to gather that and still go coast to coast for Remy Albrecht.
But the thing is, right now, just watching this game, they're exchanging baskets. They're not getting no defensive stops. They're stood up, and you got to have defensive stops against Volcano.
Yeah, and the situation, as everybody knows, Volcano's the number 1 seed right here. If you can't stop them, if you can't get some of their big guys off of the court, you still have David London right there. You've got Kenyon Owino coming in right here, and he can just work by will. As Sebastian was saying on your show earlier this week, there's really just nobody out there that you have to fear so much as Kenyon Owino. And if you can't get him off the court, you're going to be in a situation like this, looking close to 20 in the differences as they're ending the third quarter. Oh, we're getting a big play from David Lund going coast to coast. Yep. Buzzer beater. Nope. But, so going into the fourth quarter here, we're looking at 20 points. Is there really anything you can do when you're sitting in this spot? What do you do fourth quarter down by 20?
Well, you have to play defense, but I've in my mind, I've put so many game plans to beat Volcano, and I haven't came up with one yet. Okay.
There's 20-something coaches who have the same issue this year.
So most time you have an idea. Do you pull the ball out, install it? There's so many variables what to do.
Yeah, no, I've heard about the idea of doing the four corner pullout, and I just don't.
You got to practice it. So, that's the problem.
You got to practice it, but the other issue is that Volcano is going to end up scoring. You can delay as long as you want. Volcano's still going to score when they get the ball as they, that's their 4th straight district championship here in 5A District 1. The Volcano Vista Hawks win it 83-60. We kind of already saw that one coming, but at the same time, just big congratulations to Volcano Vista. 4 years in a row. Those boys are just unstoppable.
Well, I like I said, everybody's talking about them. They've been there. They've done it, 3 years in a row. They know how to prepare. They know how to deal, barring an injury or sickness or grades or whatever that could happen over the next week. It's hard to deny that they're the best team in the state.
Yeah, well, so let's swing over. We're going to stick in 5A. We're going to go to District 5 where Trisco Heritage and Albuquerque High School faced off. So this is all Albuquerque High Schools. Of course, last year, Albuquerque High making it all the way to the semifinal, where they lost to Oregon Mountain in a heartbreaker. Here's Alejandro Mireles starting things off for the Trisco Heritage Jaguars. I don't know. He's with Albuquerque High School. Yeah, they just got the score wrong there. Not sure why it says 6-0. Should be 6-0 Albuquerque High School. And then Kadarius Sims comes in, puts a 3 of his own. There we go. Now we got it fixed. But, this is the guy, Steve. Latavius Morris, for years. Changed up his hair a little bit now for these final games, but Latavius Morris, the ball's always going to go to his hands, and when you got a guy like him, we're talking about Kenyon Owino, Latavius is another guy just like that.
Well, he's an impact player that can take the game over by himself. Okay, he makes his players around him better, and if they can't get it done, he'll go do it himself. There's not too many players in the state that can do that.
No, and there never will be. As we take a look right here at Bellamy, you and Sebastian talked about the 2 bigs for Albuquerque High School. Bellamy, one of them, and then here's another guy. Kadarius Sims doesn't get quite enough love. Obviously, this year he missed a lot of the season. But Kadarius Sims, another guy who can put up some points for them in defense with Latavius Morris. But you see here, we're going into the second half, and Atrisco's up 10. This was something they needed, though, Steve. Atrisco wanted to come out, get a big impact here, and it really helps their seeding by getting a win.
Well, Coach Ray's done a good job with this team. He's been patient with them. They had some personnel problems. They've had some injuries. They hadn't had a full team the whole year. Now they're back. Now the question is can they go on their run that they've done in the past?
Saw Rashawn Morris right there. Here comes Latavius Morris. Always a guy who can just spot up a 3 whenever you need it. And this is a great run here near the end of the game. Ethan Etzel, impact player for Albuquerque High School. Might be a little travel I just saw, but
you don't have no stripes when
Latavius Morris drops a 3.
Come on.
Yeah, I think, a week later, too, is probably a little late to call it. But there's Latavius Morris' 2,000.
It didn't make a difference in the game, okay? All right?
No.
And then 2,000 points, that's unreal.
Yeah, that's huge. Kenyon Owino obviously hit it last week, or 2 weeks ago. Latavius hits it this week. Bulldogs get to carry this one out. You see Latavius Morris, all smiles right there, as the Trisco Heritage Jaguars win the 5A District 5 District Tournament, 55-43 over the Trisco Heritage, or over the Albuquerque High School Bulldogs. And this is kind of the fun part of that district tournament, is that other than Volcano, you can't really pencil in a winner in most of those districts.
Right. You got Volcano, and then 2 through 12 or 16. Yeah. With the way teams this time of year, it's just everybody's got to be ready, because you just don't know what's going to happen. That's what's so exciting about this.
Well, so you talk about 2 through everybody else. So Hobbs, the number 2 seed in the 5A bracket, they'd lost to Roswell earlier in the year. Sandia, the number 3 seed, they'd lost to La Cueva earlier in the year. And, so all the rest of those teams that are trying to win those district tournaments, improve their seeds. It was good fun. In fact, so for all boys basketball, 6 teams that didn't win their districts ended up winning. So Navajo Prep beat Tohatchi 56-42 to win 3A District 1 at Trisco over Albuquerque High School. Pecos beat Santa Rosa down in 3A. Valley versus Academy, Steve. That's a big one. 40-38, Valley wins the district tournament. That whole district has been just insane all year long.
Well, I talked to Easy on Sunday night, and basically we got to give him some love, because nobody on the panel was from Valley. It was all from Highland, and it was all from
Del Norte
and all that. But I tell you what he's done. I even said this to him. Your team is basically, if you rebound, you do the fundamental things, and your guys are hitting shots, you're as good as anybody. If you're not doing the fundamentals, you might be one of the ugliest teams to watch. Okay, and he agreed. It was done. But for him to go into Academy and win that game, and you know, he's winning all the close games. You remember like Highland last year or the year before, they were all every close game. It could be coming down the end. You just knew that they're going to win if they had it in them. And so now they've got that confidence up going with them that they believe they can. If it's a close game, they're going to come through and get it done.
No, that's a great point. I mean, that's how they beat Artesia earlier in the season. Similar way, like you keep the game close. They have that right now. But, so I believe we need to take a break right now. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come back. We got one more game highlights to look at, and then we'll talk about some interesting matchups in the tournament. That's right here for the Seagull Cougars, as that one is denied.
Another chance for Adam, but he hits it.
Trying to thread the needle and he threw it away. Unforced error. Here comes the game. And Ocellian makes up for the mistake.
Entirely new crew out here. Next time we get a whistle, Adams scores again. Adams gets the put back and he puts it right back again.
What a beautiful bounce. But Ollie, who Euro stepped by a defender for the layup. Another dime for... Zillion finds it, Reno. Inside, another dunk. Two-hand slam. Pass stolen away, fast hands, Bramlett gives it to Butler, dunked it! Still, one hand dunk for Peters. Lob upstairs to the elevator.
An inbound play. Hobbs catch. Oh, block. Butler. Huge. Diabage. They've got to get shot up now. They got to get shot. Harris, 12 seconds left. Poked away. Oh. Butler. Here comes the money. No. Yes.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Welcome back here, ProView Sports Report. Aaron Rivera with Steve Davis. And so, Steve, one more game to look at. Let's take a peek at Sandia versus La Cueva. So these two teams had the opportunity in the regular season to split it between each other. Sandia ends up the district champion there. And now this is La Cueva's chance. Can they win the district through the tournament? Well, first things first, you got to stop Sandia, and they will always shoot from range just like that.
Well, that was Junior right there, and you just watch. This guy had an unbelievable game. He's the one that was the difference of this game. He had a career game tonight. He had like 19 rebounds, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Zaire Diabage. Here's Drew Bramlett dropping down a three, and he's gotten better and better as the season's going. But, I mean, take a look at this. We're getting into the second quarter. Hunter Butler is going to take one from range. He's a guy who gets all over the court. But we got a tight game in the second quarter. La Cueva taking a little bit of the advantage. Nice put back by Tony Trujillo on that one to get them, I mean, a 10-point lead for La Cueva. chance to win the district right on the line, and you're going to see the big plays from Sandia. There is Isaiah Brown. Zay then now gets it to Jaleel Minifield.
So many weapons, man. They like to shoot the three. Just really good. Look at this. This is
Here's Zaire Diabage again. Diabage dropping that one under pressure. And all of a sudden, I mean, it was a 10-point game, 22-12. Now all of a sudden it's 22-22 as we start the second half. So talk about, I mean, the defense for Sandia. Talk about good defense.
well. La Cueva doesn't quit though. Now all of a sudden it's 23-22 with 5:18 left here in the third. And
Here comes Drew Bramlett.
And this is just look at that crowd. Look at the energy, and all the gyms are full. That's what's so neat about this time of year too.
There's Zay Brown again.
You don't
Isaiah.
think these district championships mean something to everybody?
Oh,
do.
they absolutely do. And, I mean, look at Isaiah Brown. You can see the balloons and everything in the background. Isaiah Brown hitting a big one. But La Cueva, there's no quit. I mean, we're still playing a tight one right here. Tony Trujillo's going to put the around the world and make it a one-point game again. And, I mean, Sandia just can't get away from La Cueva. It's staying tight here. Zaire Diabage is going to get that ball as I believe that one was,
Thomas,
yeah,
this is still.
Thomas on the steal. And here's Diabage again. Yeah, I mean, this staying tight, this is what you hope for in a district championship. Here's Jaleel Minifield. Hasn't been the guy that everybody's talking about all year, and yet he's appearing twice in this highlight reel. So,
Right. And then Trujillo, he just has great games against La Cueva. I mean, he's just as a force.
yeah, so it's a three-point game going down to the final stretch, and then Sandia, due to the free throws, ends up being able to stretch out the lead up to 9 points. But, I mean, a great effort by La Cueva. 52-43 is the final score. Sandia wins the district championship, both regular season and district tournament. And now La Cueva, I mean, a team that just had a big game like that, Steve. Now it's time to talk about the actual state matchups. La Cueva starts out first round, Cibola, 8-9 matchup. That's probably one of the best ones we're going to see all week.
It's going to be a great matchup. I mean, you know, and the question, you watch La Cueva, the thing about them, they don't get shook over. The teams can have runs, but they have a way of coming back and grinding it out, okay? And that's good coaching with Coach Ariel. My question with what team with Cibola is going to show up? Is it going to be, you know, is Martinez going to come out and hit his shots, and then he hits his shot, then everybody around him, the bigs get it, and things start happening for him. But they haven't been consistent on a night. So they have to be as consistent to beat La Cueva, and plus it's on La Cueva's home court, and there's going to be a good crowd at that game, and it's going to be, are they happy to be there? Or are they going to get it done? That's my question with Cibola.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the big part of that is that, you know, this is their first year back in the tournament in many years. Like you say, are they just happy to be there? I mean, of course, Coach Martinez does have some expertise in coming into these, but for most of those players, they don't have any experience in this.
Exactly. And this is you know, I mean, you work so hard. You know, we got here. Coach, we're here in the tournament. That was what our deal is. Are they going to have a letdown? Because you know, La Cueva, they're a team I don't want to play. Okay, there's a couple teams I don't want to play. That's La Cueva and that's Rio Rancho. I just don't want to play those guys. Okay, because their record is deceiving and their personnel is as good as anybody in the state.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other brackets too. Ty, can we get the 5A girls up? We're going to take, that's not it. Hey, look at those guys. So let's take a look at this one. So, Steve, you had a chance to talk about the 5A boys the other day on your show. With this one, the 5A girls, I mean, there's some interesting teams. You talk about Rio Rancho on the boys' side. That Los Lunas Rio Rancho game there, whoever can win that one gets a chance to take on Centennial Sandia. That's one of those big ones. I mean, we saw them we saw Los Lunas down at the Hope Tournament. That's a team that can go up and down the court, and of course, Rio Rancho wants to do the same thing.
Exactly, and really, Los Lunas is probably a little lower seated than I thought they would be. I mean,
agreed.
Okay, and just from the eye test, not
not
with all the all the numbers and all that. this team, they're dynamic. Okay, I mean, they, like you said, they can press, they can score in bunches, and they've been there before, like you know, under Zeller. Okay, and then now they have same tendencies that Zeller brought into with them. They play 10 people, they can come off the bench, and everybody's ready to play, and they just try to wear you down over the period of the game.
Yeah, and I was talking to Leroy Lucero, one of our broadcasters last night, and he was surprised they got such a low seed as well because he saw them at Hope as well, and he said the other teams couldn't get the ball to half court for 3-4 minutes in a row. I mean, that's a great defensive team, but the huge matchup for them is that Rio Rancho has girls who can score. Rio Rancho, the question is whether or not they're going to be shooting well. I mean, it's girls basketball in a nutshell because sometimes just the shooting goes off. But then you look on the other side of the bracket, a potential Albuquerque High versus Farmington matchup. I mean, that's two teams that have some really strong young pieces that could play against each other.
Well, and like I said, just get I think we're doing 5 of those games tomorrow night. And,
Yep.
And you probably have that on. We'll come to that later, but this is. Get out and support these, man. I mean, or buy your NFHS pass and then watch all of them on your TV.
Yeah, so specifically games on this list that we will have for sure is Los Lunas versus Rio Rancho. We're covering that one up in Los Lunas. I believe we have Sandia Centennial. Albuquerque High, Carlsbad is where I'm going to be. And I think we've got some 4As as well. Let's come back here. I believe we got to take a quick break. Make sure that we take a look at some of the sponsors that make this all possible. You're watching the ProView Sports Report.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
All right, welcome back here, ProView Sports Report. Aaron Rivera, Steve Davis with you. And like you mentioned, Steve, 5 games on the girls' side. Let's take a quick peek at the girls' 4A bracket because that's one of the last matchups that we're going to have this weekend. St. Pius, Pewaukee Valley, that 6-11 seed. We are going to have that game on the NFHS network. But with this 4A girls, Steve, Gallup, Kirtland Central, that's kind of the matchup everybody's been looking at. But Kirtland Central beat them pretty handily twice in a row during the regular season. And yet, during the district tournament, Gallup comes in and wins 73-69 over Kirtland Central. This is something you and Sebastian talk about all the time. It's almost impossible to beat a team 3 times in 1 year.
Unless it's Volcano.
Unless you're Volcano Vista.
Right,
Unless you're Volcano Vista.
No, but there's a lot of truth to that because it's, you got young kids that are young student athletes that, I mean, it's a combination. They've already done it in 3, and they just. But back to the thing, that everybody's getting better at this time. This is what this basketball. This is the best basketball you're going to see in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and of course, Coach McBroom, a state champion coach. knows how to get his girls ready for that tournament. Steve, an interesting note that I was looking at, so 4A's District 1, which is where Kirtland Central, Gallup, and Bloomfield, although they're not in the tournament, Shiprock is also part of that district. They've sent at least one team to the final every year since 2018. And other than Los Lunas, who's now a 5A school, they've won the 4A girls every year since 2017 when Goddard won it. I mean, that is just a dominant district. Luckily for the St. Pius Sartans, they don't have to play against Gallup in that second round if they can get through Pewaukee Valley. But Pewaukee Valley, another team that, I mean, for those girls, they were able to beat Espanola Valley in the district tournament. That's another big one for them. So Pewaukee Valley winning 45-39 over Espanola Valley. They had to split that one. And then for the girls in the 4A, St. Pius losing to Valencia 39-34. That's what's helped Valencia get that 4 seed, and St. Pius get sunk back to the 6 because St. Pius won the regular district, but Valencia won the district tournament. I mean, a lot of really strong teams. And, of course, what we've seen this season from Coach Skarsgård with Albuquerque Academy, putting them in that 5 seed.
What a story. Skarsgård's, of course, he's got all of his coaching things from yours truly. So
yeah, right.
No, he's a great player. He was coached under Coach Brown, okay, and then he also was AAU team under John Wisnan, and those are two great coaches. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a look now at the actual schedule that we've got coming up this weekend. So, as you can see, on Friday we've got 5 matchups. Centennial versus Sandia. That one's at 5 o'clock. Interesting that they've got it earlier. Maybe the trip from down south is affecting that.
Well, I'm glad you have it up there because I would have showed up at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, right. So then we've also got Las Cruces versus La Cueva. Carlsbad taking on Albuquerque High School. That's where I'll be. Rio Rancho in Los Lunas. I believe we've got Nick Nunez and Gabe up there for that one.
Those
Pewaukee
games
Valley.
Are at 6, right?
Yeah, all those are at 6. Okay. Make sure, and everything that you're seeing on the high school side, NFHS Network, all the games, you can find them all on there. If you want the links to those games, come to our website. You can find the direct link to any game you're looking for. On the boys' side, we've got one more 5 o'clock game. These are all Saturday, March 8th. 5 o'clock game, Goddard versus St. Pius. The Rockets trying to beat the Sartans there at 5. And then the other 5 games that we're having all at 6 p.m. Santa Fe versus Albuquerque High School. That's an interesting one because Santa Fe has proven that they have some of that dog in them. And Albuquerque High School, coming off of that loss to Atrisco, we'll have to see whether or not they can rebound, get themselves back into it, and try and make another run back to the semifinals. West Mesa taking on Volcano Vista. That's the 16 on the 1. Tough situation for the West Mesa Mustangs. I'm sure they're happy to be in there, but this is their chance. Very young team taking on the very experienced Volcano Vista Hawks. Should be interesting. I'll be over at Del Norte versus Highland, and I assume that there's not going to be parking anywhere near that gym because that place will be packed.
No, yeah, get there early. I mean, like you said, avoid, the ticket line and all that, and be prepared and get there early, get a seat because all these gyms are going to be full. I mean, the Lobos are not playing. They'll be gone. They'll be playing Friday night, but they'll be gone. The girls and men will be gone Saturday and then for the rest of the week. So just get there and
get there early.
And get there early.
Yeah, Cibola versus La Cueva as well. What was the last game? Rio Rancho versus Sandia. And then Sunday we will have the Certified Lions taking on the New Mexico Runners as well. So that's our schedule. That's what we're going to be looking forward to. Hope to see you guys out at all the state games. Come say hi to us. This has been the ProView Sports Report. Thanks for coming on again, Steve.
Well, it's great.